right, guys, the Beckham family drama continues to escalate after firstborn son Brooklyn Beckham blasted his famous parents, David and Victoria, in a long and emotional Instagram message. Now, David is hitting back on those allegations. Watch.
They make mistakes. Children are allowed to make mistakes. That's how they learn. So that's what I try to teach my kids. But, you have to sometimes let them make those mistakes.
I don't know why I'm always shocked by that British accent. Okay, Caroline, you're obsessed with this. Tell us more.
Okay, so I don't like to see big families fracturing, especially famous ones. Although I'm a firm believer that when you marry your spouse, they become your family. The extended family comes second. There's been a lot of similarities drawn between Harry and Meghan's unceremonious departure from The Crown and now the Brooklyn Beckham breakup. But in Meghan's case, she knew the serious demands of the royal family. That's a 1,100-year institution. She obviously knew what she was signing up for and did not uphold her end of the contract. Brooklyn, in his case, this is just tainting the business brand, the Beckham family, and he's allowed to do that. However, I will say, Brooklyn Beckham has benefited from a huge amount of nepotism, which I know is an ugly word, but he would be nothing if not for his famous footballer dad and his posh Spice Girl mom. He wouldn't have his amateur cooking channel. He wouldn't have his modeling career. So I think a little bit more gratitude is due. There's been so many scandals of celebrity families where the parents are negligent, they're abusive to their children. That is not what's happening here. An overbearing, devouring mother, that's a common trope. Everyone has that experience, I think, with the mother-in-law. But to be a little bit over-invested in your children is not a crime. There's a difference between a helicopter parent and an abusive one.
A lot to unpack.
Okay, I'm done. That was everything right there.
This is devil's advocate. I mean, he would still have his looks, so maybe the modeling career could come. But here's the thing. Do you agree with Caroline? Is this the Yoko Ono of the Beckham family, or is it Brooklyn?
I think Brooklyn and Nicola are both complete spoiled brats. To turn on your parents publicly is a reflection of you and your character. And if I were Nicola, I'd be embarrassed by my husband who's acting like a little boy, a child, putting out this ridiculous statement. Also, by the way, one of the issues that he cites is that somehow Victoria Beckham pulled the rug out from underneath Nicola with a wedding dress at the 11th hour. But in Vogue, she talks about working with Valentino for an entire year on a custom gown that she wore down the aisle, including 2 trips to headquarters in Rome. So I think this is a bunch of baloney. Also, I think this is, and the last thing I'll add, I think this is reflective of society more broadly speaking. We're seeing this breakdown of the family unit. It's an intentional push we've seen at the left. We've seen it with trans ideology. Don't go tell your parents. We saw it in Stalin, Soviet Union, as well, turning children against their parents, as well as in China under Mao. And lastly, the Bible warns us about this, that this is a reflection of moral and societal decay when kids start turning against their parents. So I think it's pure selfishness, and they're the issue, and I feel bad for their family that this has to be so public and so personal.
Woo! All right.
I
know. I feel embarrassed.
Sorry, I have a lot of
my brain. That's only surface. But Harris, all right. Let me ask you about this one angle, which is that we saw a wielding of narrative in the power of public relations, and we've covered it here on Fox, like the Blake Lively, Baldoni issue and whatnot. Are we seeing that here? Meaning a war played out that's manipulated with people with means to say, I'm releasing this press and I'm saying this on this show. And, aside from it being in the context of a family, which is heartbreaking, is that what we're watching here?
Well, and that's the connection that I see with like the firm and the royal family. I mean, because that's what the firm does, right? And it's almost like these two have their own firm. And they're putting out dueling statements, and that other example that you gave is an excellent one too, ripped from the headlines about a movie. But I do think at the end of the day, I love what you said, Lisa. This is biblical in some ways. The Bible says, go to the person that you have the grievance with. I'm paraphrasing. So why wouldn't they just all sit down, right? I'm flabbergasted by that. This is so negative, and soccer is about to blow up across the country and the world with the FIFA Cup coming. Like, why wouldn't you want to have good relations, especially if you want those good seats and all that stuff, that all that fame that your parents have provide you? And her parents are well-to-do, too. They're probably, from what I'm reading, richer than the Beckhams and have a little bit more clout in the circles that they travel in, which is really fascinating. So these two young people, he's 26, she's 31. I would be embarrassed to be with a guy who couldn't keep his stuff together like that. But she's tolerating it, and so I have to think she's getting something out of it too. And we are pressed up against the glass.
Yeah. So prediction, David, at the end of all of this, who's going to come out on top in the court of public opinion, which clearly they've taken their grievances to?
Maybe the public should just say, that's it. Look, money doesn't equate to class, to your point. I would think the Kardashians are another model of a family that had all of this use of social media, clicks, pops, looks, whatever they want. It's a shame that this is playing out publicly, but I think part of this is that need to be, the one that gets the attention, the needs to be paid attention to. And I think this thing should just go away. The public should just say, I'm sick of you.
That's never going to happen.
Oh my
goodness.
Reading this up.
Posh Spice was one of my favorites growing up. I love Victoria Beckham.
Yeah, they'll get it together, I hope.
There's a new stadium. Maybe they won't let them have seats to it. Land in Miami.
Also not going to happen.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.